Okay, well, welcome today to our Brainpower Breakthroughs. And today, John's looking a little stylish with his with
Yeah.
he's missing his electrodes on.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we're glad. I know that there's just going to be progress every day, and we're here to support you and love you through your whole progress. So,
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
yeah. So, as we're talking about our brain power breakthroughs, I wanted to, I brought something up, and John said, "Hey, let's talk about the four agreements." So, John, do you want to start off?
Well, yeah, absolutely. The Four Agreements is a book written by a gentleman named Don Ruiz. And my wife, Amy, and I have used this book extensively in our work. And mainly, I will tell you through the four things, the actual four agreements, and I won't get into all of them right now, but the the first agreement that Don brings up in his book is called "Be Impeccable with Your Word." And in my growing up and in my early business years, um, you know, and I say early business years, and if y'all haven't figured it out, I'm a little bit older than the majority of people on here probably. But in my early business years, it was back when your handshake, you shake hands with somebody, that's your word. And in the business world, I think there's a lot of people out there that think that's kind of gone away. But what Don is asking us of us in this agreement that's called "Be Impeccable with Your Word," it's really to kind of go back to that old style business. Your word is your word.
Right.
If you're
And
if
don't you think your word starts with you and not worrying
Absolutely,
about the other person, but what
absolutely,
you're going to do for yourself?
100%, yes, I
Okay.
totally agree. um you know we can talk to a lot of people about what we want to do,
Yeah.
but if we don't have that buy-in to believe what we want to do, or to believe we can even do it, I mean, there's a lot of times that we say, well, yeah, I can do that, I can do that,
Yeah.
and your friend in the background is going, yeah, that's lip service.
Hmm.
So the question is, can you really do that? It's funny, and I'm gonna shoot this in here real quick. Because of what I'm going through, I do have physical therapy that I work on every day. And it's really kind of an interesting mode when you work with a physical therapist. There's always two questions you have to ask yourself when they tell you, do this exercise. Okay, do this, and do this, and then and so when they give you this exercise to do, I've always said there's two questions you need to ask yourself. Number one, do you physically believe that you can do this? I think that's a pretty fair question.
Yeah.
Um, and more importantly, is question number two: do you even want to do this?
Right.
So, in that context, I look back at the other things that we've been talking about here. When you are impeccable with your word, you are telling somebody, yes, I can do that. And yes, I will do that. And that second one, yes, I will do that, that's not for the other person. That's for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's what you were leaning into there, Lorianne, is we need to really be impeccable with our word to ourselves. So we have our, you call it emotional buy-in. Some people call it that.
Mhm.
For us to be impeccable with our words, we have to buy into what we say and honor it and be truthful to it and believe that we are speaking impeccably. So,
I love that. And what I think about when you're saying that in, our teens worlds right now, if you're a teenager right now today, there's a lot of things that you make up in your head about what's going on around you. There's a lot of things that you are saying to yourself internally that only you can hear inside your own head.
mhm,
And that's where you start paying attention. What am I saying over and over and over and over and over and over again
mhm,
inside my head to myself? And, it happens when you walk by the mirror. Are you saying, man, I'm like, yeah, and you're complaining when you're looking at the mirror, or are you like walking past that mirror and saying, yeah, I am
mhm.
looking good today,
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
nobody can hear what you're saying, but you
right,
can.
right.
And your whole body, your whole success, like everything about you really is what is going on inside your own brain. And Jon, Amy sent me something yesterday. And so I listened to it while I was at the gym this morning. And I listened to it several times because I thought, wow, I've really got to pay attention to this. And it was an Esther Hicks, it was an Abraham Hicks
Mhm.
message. And what she had said in there was, I want to be fun. So if you want to be fun, how are you going to create fun in your life,
Exactly. Yeah.
even though there's all these outside things going on? And
Mhm,
she said she spent an hour writing the word fun. And if you spend, I mean, I would like suggest take a timer and set it for 10 minutes. I mean,
mhm.
you don't have to start out doing an hour, but set a timer for 10 minutes and just write the word fun,
Yeah.
for 10 minutes over and over and see what starts happening inside your brain and the
Mhm.
thoughts that start coming up.
You know,
So,
they've always said a belief is just a thought that you've thought over and 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 over.
yeah,
If you think a specific fun thought over and over and over and over and over, you will start believing in that thought as being fun. It's just a matter of repetition.
yeah.
How does someone get really, I mean, my wife always asks me, she goes, because we sing, I sing harmony parts a lot. And she asked me, she goes, how come you're so good at that? I said, because I did it over and over and over. She goes, how can you remember the words to a song so well? Because I sang it over and over and over and over and over and over.
Mm.
You do something over and over and over and over and over and over and over, it becomes a habit. Well, if you're impeccable with your words over and over and over, that becomes a habit.
Yeah.
If you want to have fun tomorrow, I strongly suggest you write the word fun down a whole bunch of times. Yeah, and I'm like, I totally agree with Lorianne. Don't go to an hour here, okay? Unless you're just
Yeah.
I mean, some of y'all may be a glutton for punishment. I get it. I did a lot of things like that when I was young too. Start with the 10 or 15 minutes. Grow into the bigger the longer term stuff. But if you just started with 10 or 15 minutes and wrote down, I want to have fun tomorrow. I want to have fun tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a fun day. If you write that down over and over and over again today, I will almost promise you The universe is going to line up things for you that are going to knock your socks off, and you're going to have a great day tomorrow.
And it probably might start today.
It could. Yes, it could. It very well could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the universe doesn't have a time period.
Yeah.
They
Right.
don't look at, they don't have an 8 to 5, you know? So, yeah, I would suggest that.
Yeah. And so there in the four agreements,
Mhm.
I know that you just talked about being impeccable with your word.
Mhm.
I like what the next one. So there's four.
Mhm.
The second one is don't take anything personally. The third one is
Ooh.
don't make assumptions. And the
Oh, wait a
fourth
minute.
one is always do your best.
Yeah.
So let's talk about don't take anything personally.
That's
Nothing
hard.
others do is because of you.
Yes.
That's what it says. What
Yeah.
others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When
Yes.
you are immune to the opinion and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering.
True. Here's a couple of things that I've learned about this. The majority of the time, when someone says something to you that could put you in a position where you could take that personally, okay?
Yeah,
The majority of the time, what I've learned about that is that actually is an issue that that person is having either with themselves or with somebody else at the moment, not
right.
you,
Right.
not necessarily you. So your job is to not take that energy or that thought on to you. Don't take it personally. They're not coming after you. Now, it may sound like it. Don't get me wrong. It may sound like they're coming at you with a vengeance. No, they're not. I promise you, they're not. A long time ago, I heard someone say this in a different way, and I've always loved how she said it. She goes, she said, when your opinion of you means more than others' opinion of you, you will have mastered your life.
Wow.
Let me say that again. When your opinion of you means more than others' opinion of you, you will have mastered your life. Don't take what they say personally. Don't take that energy on. It's not yours to take.
Yeah.
Let them sit in it. They'll figure it out. You just be you. Be impeccable with your words. Have fun being you.
I think that is a great message today.
Oh, yeah.
Um, that becoming not the victim.
Mm-hmm.
And we make those things up inside our head. I remember my son when he was younger, he had a group of friends that, it just seemed like they were bullying him and leaving him out of things. And he'd come to me and he'd kind of express some things. And I had to learn for me to just stay quiet and not judge those other kids. Because in the moments that mother bear came out and I was like, on those
Mm-hmm.
other kids, it didn't
Yeah.
help the situation. Like my son would be
Right.
like, Mom, they're my only friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to sit back and really listen to that when he would say those things to me. And I think this agreement right here is don't take things personally. He became masterful at that
Mm-hmm.
because he would say, yeah, well, they're going through this, or their mom's going through this, or their dad is, like he understood that they had all these dynamics going on around them, and he didn't have to take that on.
Right. Right.
So that agreement that
Yeah,
one's powerful.
it is. It doesn't seem to matter how bad you think you've got it. There's always somebody out there that has it a little bit worse. And if you
Yeah.
can keep that in mind, they may have some things going on in their life that,
You have no idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when they lash out at you, don't take it personal.
Yeah.
They're just trying to vent. Okay, let them vent, but then hug them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll be surprised at how good that'll make both of you feel.
Right.
So yeah, don't take it personal. Don't, and that kind of goes into the very next agreement, and that is don't make assumptions. There's a lot of us, myself included, that have made assumptions that were wrong.
Yes.
You know, um, it is a it goes back to don't take it personally, because what they lashed out at you about may not have, and more than likely won't have anything to do with you.
Yeah.
They've just got some stuff going on that they need to get out. Well,
Yeah.
let them get it out. So that's the thing I love about Don's book here is these agreements tie into each other so well, and they build on each other so well.
Mhm.
Each one of them are brilliant in and of themselves, but
Yeah.
you can put a building block on top of each one of these and build the other one on top of the other one, and it's amazing what comes out of it in the end. So yeah, don't be impeccable with your word. If you're going to want to do something or want to say something, you get the first buy-in. You get the first belief. You buy into what you're saying and
And
believe it.
ask good questions.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely ask good questions.
Yeah.
Yes. Very true.
That's, communication is the power. I mean, I think right
Mhm.
now we have the power of over communication because we can post our entire lives on social media.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
in that, like you said yesterday, in that personal connection of really spending time
Mhm.
with people,
Yeah.
that's that lack of spending time with people um, that makes you forget like that power of being with people, asking good questions, being able to speak your word, and then notice what's coming out of your mouth. I used to say that to my kids all the time. I'd say, notice what's coming out of your mouth.
Hmm.
Like, pay attention what's coming out of your mouth, because what you're saying is going to happen, you
Hmm.
know? And
Yeah.
so it's okay to rant and rave and let it all out, but then get through it, ask good questions, you know,
Mhm.
check in what is coming out of my mouth, because whatever's coming out, it's surely going to happen.
Yeah.
You're
Yep.
speaking it, you're walking it, you're living it. It's going to happen.
Hmm. Yes, it is. Very true. Very true.
So I like the last one. And I think this is a good one to end on is always do your best. That's it. You
Yeah.
know, always do your best.
Yeah. That's why I said earlier, these can build on each other. If you look at these, be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. If you add those first three together, I think you come up with the fourth.
Yeah.
I always want to give my best to whoever I'm working with. I don't want them to get shortchanged. out of the deal.
Yeah.
You know, I've been I've been blessed and honored to work with some very, very cool and neat people in my life. I've been mentored by some of the best mentors out there in the business world. And I've so appreciated that. So when it's time for me to share, when I'm on stage speaking to a group, I want to give them my best.
Yeah.
I want to give them value, for what they came for,
And
you know?
Jon, even if you're not on a stage, I know you. I've been in your presence, and you give your best when it's one-on-one.
Thank
You
you.
know, not
Thank you
everybody
so
gets
much.
the opportunity to be on a stage like you have been
True.
and
Yeah.
been trained by all of those amazing, incredible people. You have had human connection like that is, I know your wife says it all the time, that you are the biggest gentleman. And we say big because, Jon, how tall are you?
Just under 6'4".
Yeah. So this man
Yeah.
is
So, yeah,
huge
I'm just
in,
under 6'4", weigh about 225.
yeah, he's huge in
Yeah.
his presence, but he's also huge in his heart and a gentle man with so much love and compassion for people.
Thank you.
So if there's anything that you could pass on today, speaking around these four agreements,
Mhm.
what is it that our youth and our teens could take away from this today?
The first two agreements, really. The first two are going to change your life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be impeccable with your word and don't take anything personally.
Be honest to yourself. That's what being impeccable with your word is. Be honest to yourself. Say what is right, not what you think someone wants to hear. Say
Mm,
what is right. That's what being impeccable with your word is. But then the second thing, don't take things personally. I think we've gotten into a habit of that. Our society has gotten into a habit of that. And I want us to get away from that habit.
yeah.
Get back to, let someone say something to get it off their chest. It doesn't mean you get the right to yell back at them.
Yeah.
Don't take it personally. They're not after you. I promise you, as many times as I've seen this happen, I promise you, they are not out for you. They just need to vent. They got some stuff going on. Okay. We all got lives to live. We all got things that are really moving us in certain directions in life. Sometimes we have things that move us in other directions in life. Trust me, I had no idea this direction was coming up. But you know what? When it happened, I didn't sit there and yell at somebody.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it's kind of interesting. I'm gonna put a selfless plug here for Amy's book coming out.
Oh, yes, your wife's book.
Yeah, Amy is writing a book called Blameless.
Blameless. Yeah.
Yes, and the key ingredient to me in the blameless scenario is don't blame yourself. All right, when all this happened with me, I will tell you, that was the hardest thing I ever had to do, was not blame myself.
Wow.
That's being impeccable with your word.
Yeah.
When you cannot take something like this and not blame yourself for it. That's being impeccable with your word. And it's not taking things personally. I could have very easily taken this personally.
Yeah.
Could have blamed myself, could have blamed God, and then turned right around and blamed myself because I knew better than to blame God. So I would have turned right around and blamed myself for all this. And I could have taken this personally. And that would not have been pretty.
No.
But I realized there's no one to blame. I can't blame God. I can't blame the devil. I can't blame someone else. Nobody did this to me.
Right.
But I didn't do it to myself either. That was the one to get over. That was the hurdle.
Yeah.
That was the hardest hurdle to get over. But when I did, and I started to take in my own worthiness to that idea, Jon, don't blame yourself for this. You have no reason to do that.
Right.
My whole demeanor about why this happened and what it is and what it stands for totally changed.
Hmm.
It totally changed.
Hmm.
I went from thinking I did something wrong and I'm the one to blame for this to nobody did anything wrong. And I will tell you, I'm not a very religious person, but I'm very spiritual. All right. I went from thinking I did something wrong and I was the one to blame for this to nobody did anything wrong. And I'm not the one to blame for this. And oh my God, let's see what the universe has in store for me now because it's going to be big.
Right.
It's bound to be big because this isn't just chocolate pudding. I mean, this is big stuff going on up here. This is so I'm knowing to my core the universe has got to have something massively huge on the other side of this, just waiting for me to get there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take this trip. You know, it's all in a belief of, you know, the this doesn't happen to you; it happens for you. How can you say that it happens for you? Because look what's coming.
Mm.
You never know what's coming from anything. Going back to being impeccable with your word, or don't take things personally. Whatever happened to your friend and they lashed out at you, don't take it personally. Be impeccable with your words back to that friend and watch what happens between you two. It's going to be something cool. It's going to be something big, and you're going to like it. I truly believe that that's where Don was headed with these agreements, is to really give us a chance to step back, let go, and really think about what we want to create, how we want to create it, be impeccable with our words, and don't take things personally, and you will see the magic happen. I promise you.
I love it. That, and just to wrap up the end of it, that always do your best. That always do your best goes from moment to moment. You know,
Definitely.
just like even today, you know, we might have a little lack of energy, or we might not feel good, or we're having a major health issue, like, you know, what Jon's going through. And we don't know from moment to moment. But when we're choosing to be impeccable with our word, not taking things personally, doing our best, You know,
Yeah,
it feels good in here. And we can
it
have
does.
fun. We can
It
have
does.
fun. We can
Yeah.
create fun. We can
Hmm.
create laughter and joy and, you know, and even if the world is falling down around us, we have the choice. My husband,
Hmm.
Ray, he always says, you choose happiness.
Hmm.
It's a choice.
It is.
It's not a feeling. It's not, he always says, you get to choose happiness.
Yeah. It's not reliant on someone else.
No,
Yeah.
nobody can make you happy.
Very true. You get to
Well,
make you happy.
this is a great this is a great message today, Jon. Thank
Yeah.
you. I
Oh, you're
know
welcome.
that
I'm happy I got on the call.
I am too. I know you weren't feeling the best. So what a great message that we have here today to share. So
Yeah,
thank
but
you
I'm
very
feeling pretty
much.
good now. So see,
See what it does when you're just sharing,
it
impacting
does.
lives, and yeah,
It does.
it makes such a difference.
Yeah, it does. That is true. So,
Well, we love you all. Mwah. Have an amazing day.
absolutely. Yes, definitely. Take care. Have fun.
Have fun. That's
Go have
right.
fun.